All right, let's jump right in. We all want to make an impact, right? To be heard and to really connect with people. But what if the secret wasn't just in what you say, but in how you're saying it? Today, we're going to look at a pretty powerful way to transform your communication and, yeah, learn how to build those bridges that turn what you intend into real, actual impact. Oh man, you know that feeling, don't you? You have this perfectly clear idea in your head. You explain it, or at least you think you explained it perfectly, and the response you get is just a blank stare. Or even worse, they heard something completely different from what you meant. It is so frustrating, and it can feel like you're just shouting into the void. Well, that super frustrating feeling, it actually has a name. It's the gap between your intention, that brilliant, helpful, or really important message you're trying to send, and your impact, which is how that message actually lands with the other person. This gap right here is where pretty much all miscommunication is born. Now, what's so great about this idea is how it reframes the whole solution. See, if there's a gap, well, you need a way to get across it. And that's exactly what communication is supposed to be. It's not just talking, it's the bridge you have to actively build to make sure what you intended to say is what people actually hear. So this is the core challenge we're really digging into, the communication gap. It's a problem for literally everyone, but the good news is we can absolutely learn how to build a much, much better bridge across it. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't try to build some massive bridge without a detailed blueprint, would you? Of course not. You need to know your materials, where you're starting from, the whole structural design. The exact same principle applies to communication. In your starting point, it's all about understanding yourself. So that brings us to our blueprint. Before you can even think about building that bridge out to other people, you have to get really clear on your own internal wiring. It all starts with uncovering your personal communication style. So how do we find this blueprint? Well, the source material points to a really powerful tool called the Enneagram. Now, don't think of this as some rigid personality label. It's more like a map of your default communication settings. For example, it might show that one person's style is naturally very direct and action-oriented, while someone else is all about harmony and avoiding conflict. It's just a tool for mapping out what you do well and maybe what you don't even realize you're doing. And this is just a brilliant way to see the two sides of that blueprint. On one side, you've got your strengths. So for example, being direct is a huge strength when you need to give clear feedback. But that exact same directness can become a blind spot if it comes across as harsh and totally shuts people down. Uncovering these hidden habits is where the real growth starts to happen. Okay, so you've got your blueprint, you understand your own patterns. What's next? Well, a blueprint isn't very useful without a toolkit, right? So now we're going to shift from the what, your style, to the how, mastering the actual practical skills to improve it. And when it comes to the skills you really need, the source material points to a key number. There are 6. 6 core competencies that pretty much form the foundation of communication mastery. We're talking about essential skills here, like active listening, clarifying your message, giving feedback that's actually constructive, managing your emotional responses, asserting your needs clearly, and this is a big one, adapting your style to your audience. These are the tools you'll use to build and repair that bridge in any situation. So how do you put these tools to work in the real world? It really becomes this practical 3-step process. First, you uncover your own style using your blueprint. Second, you learn to read your audience. Who are you talking to? What do they really need to hear? And third, you adapt. You use those 6 core skills to flex your message for different people and different situations. So we have the blueprint and we have the toolkit. But what's the point? Where are we actually going with all of this? The destination isn't just about being a better speaker. It's about achieving the power of genuine connection. This is the big why. What is the real payoff for doing all this work, for understanding your blind spots and practicing these skills? I'm telling you, the results aren't just little tweaks. They can fundamentally change your professional and your personal relationships. And here they are, the 3 massive outcomes. When you communicate effectively, you build trust because people feel genuinely heard and understood. You don't just manage conflicts, you actually resolve them. And you don't just present ideas, you inspire other people to take action. And just like that, we come full circle. All of this work, the blueprint, the tools, the practice, it's all designed to do one crucial thing: to finally close that gap and replace all that misunderstanding with the true, powerful connection we were looking for all along. But the work doesn't just stop here. This leaves us with a really critical question to think about for ourselves.
Since it all starts with self-awareness, the real question is, what's the first step you will take to understand your own blueprint and start strengthening your communication bridge?